Breaking, IN News Global, stay informed, stay ahead. Thank you.
May as well be a military base inside the United States of America. Newly announced, newly formed. Well, we've got, hand me that sign over there. You've got signs like this one all across the border wall, facing into Mexico. Clear English, clear Spanish. This is Department of Defense property. The National Defense Area, formerly known as the Fort Huachuca Annex Zone, is federal property. Any illegal attempting to enter that zone is entering a military base, a federal protected area. You can be detained, you will be detained. You will be interdicted by U.S. troops and Border Patrol working together. In the past, under the Biden administration, over the past 4 years, if you jumped over the border wall or you walked onto sovereign U.S. soil, you were politely greeted, probably handed a blanket, moved on to the closest NGO, and your facilitation into the country was made easy. And that's why for 4 years, under Joe Biden, we had an invasion of 21 million people. 21 million people crossed the U.S. border that we know of. It's probably more than that. An invasion of people we don't have no idea what their intentions are. They brought drugs, they brought gangs, they brought violence, it was human smuggling, it was a total invasion of our sovereignty. And when President Trump was elected, he followed through on his promise and said, we will get 100% operational control of the southern border because border security is national security. And wrap it as fast as we could from day one. We have operationalized that concept at the southern border, sending troops. You know, I spent some time in the news business before I did this. And we would often cover what the Biden administration would do. Send the National Guard, a couple hundred National Guard down to the border with binoculars. And set them up for a photo op to, watch people cross the border to make it look like we're being tough. It was all posture. It was all masquerading. It was not actually securing the southern border or helping Border Patrol. This administration is a 180 in the other direction. We are getting complete control of the border, and the military that's here now is fully empowered with every authority they need. Inside the National Defense Area, which you're standing in right now, with these signs that warn you're entering it, if you are an illegal crossing, you will be monitored, you will be detained by U.S. troops. You will be detained temporarily and handed over to Customs and Border Patrol. If you have cut through a fence or jumped over a fence, that's destruction of government property. If you have attempted to evade, that's evading law enforcement, just like you would any other military base. You add up the charges of what you can be charged with, misdemeanors and felonies, you could be looking up to 10 years in prison when prosecuted. And by the way, I had a chance to meet the U.S. Attorney for New Mexico. He can't wait to prosecute the first group of people or individual that attempts to enter and traffic through the National Defense Area. It's 170 miles right now with varying depths. This one's attached to Fort Huachuca, but this is just phase one. So it's going to be expanded across the border, and our military with our friends in the CBP are going to lock this thing down. Crossings are down 97%, in some places 99% since President Trump was elected. The cartels on the other side, designated foreign terrorist organizations, they know we mean business because they've seen CBP, they've seen our troops, they've watched them in kit, they're out here in strikers, they've got long-range surveillance, we've got drones, we're prepared to detain and interdict. They know we mean business, but they weren't counting on a national defense area. They weren't counting on effectively a military base along the border, where our U.S. troops are now defending our border. I've had a chance to meet staff sergeants and second lieutenants and company commanders and battalion commanders and all the troops in between. And they are motivated. They're motivated because they've spent 20 years guarding other people's borders. I'm saying, just like this, other people's soil, other people's sovereignty. Under this administration, we defend our soil. We know who comes in. And if you try to come in illegally as a cartel, you try to smuggle or traffic, you will be detained by a member of the U.S. military, and you will be handed over to Customs and Border Patrol. And then you will be prosecuted by the Department of Justice, and you will be charged to the maximum extent of the law. We said we would follow through. We're only 100 days in. But when I see the motivation of these guys, these members of a Stryker battalion or the Marine Corps that are doing their job, putting in barriers, surveilling, patrolling, they're motivated because they're doing it for us. They're doing it for the American people right here on sovereign U.S. soil, which is what President Trump promised he would deliver. So hand me that sign one more time. These are the signs that are going to crisscross the national defense area. There will be more of them. They will be 100 meters apart, more or less. You cross our border illegally, you will see them. It's clearly posted, and when you ignore them, you will be prosecuted. That's the kind of message President Trump has sent from day one. I want to end by noting that this mission is not without risk. I had a chance to meet one of the medics who was first on scene with a couple of the Marines that we lost on this mission, a vehicle rollover.